Hey, hello, hello. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Most Mondays with Megs. I have been on a little hiatus. I have been on a whirlwind tour. I've been to the Caribbean. I have facilitated events. I have presented at Rise Sovereign. I have presented at the Seven Elements event. I have just been going. And it's all so freaking fun. And how do I want to say this, in conjunction with this month's big event that I'm doing, I am presenting main stage at Yin on Fire in Southern Utah in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited. My themes for these podcasts generally center around something that is rising in me, something that I may be creating in the moment. And so when I am done with this broadcast, I will make sure that Yin on Fire is in the show notes, the link for you guys to check that out. It's September 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. And what I'm talking about at Yin on Fire is essentially what I'm calling the arc of greatness. What is it? What is greatness? And my belief is that everybody has greatness in them. Now, I realize I also didn't announce who I was. I get so excited. So my name is Megan Silito, and I have been a transformational change agent. That's what I would call myself. Yes, I coach. Yes, I do healing. Yes, I do all the things, but it's bigger than that. Like I love to help people get to where they're going faster. And that's not even just my clients. It's like when I walk into the grocery store, like I am becoming change walking. I love that so much. And I have been doing this for almost 30 years. When I got into this business, there was no such thing as life coaching. It wasn't even a thing yet. And so I've been, guess what, kids? I've been doing this since, we were walking up the hill both ways to school, And so this podcast is basically to support me in really sharing and verbalizing what's coming through, because for me, being so deeply involved in transformation, so much comes through me all the time. And if I don't capture it, then it kind of keeps moving on. And so these podcasts are a way for me to share what I'm working on, what I'm creating. It's kind of like a little bit behind the scenes for you guys, and giving you resources that can help you become your greatness. So yes, we all have greatness. Oh, and Mondays with if you can't tell, I am also highly ADHD. So I will jump around everywhere and come back around again and give you, I will follow through on most of the loops I start, just so you know. And I love that about me. And that's one of the things that I help people do, is like these things that we get diagnosed with are also our greatest gift, our superpowers. Like being on the spectrum is being a highly attuned creator. And if we learn how to do that, then we become our greatness. If we just hang out in a label and think there's something wrong with us, then we end up kind of having a shit life. I'm just saying. So, Mondays with Megs is a podcast that I do on the Mondays that I am able, that I'm not traveling or doing events, that I'm in town. And so that's working out to be about 3 Mondays a month so far. So I have actually been away for a few weeks, and I'm back. So this is what you have tuned into, is most Mondays with Megs podcast, crazy ADHD channeling. Let's create a magical life. And today's topic is called Becoming the Magician. And becoming the magician is really one of my favorite paths to greatness. There's a billion paths to greatness. First of all, we already are that. great, right? We all have greatness in us. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've been through. Like the fact, do you know what the odds are of us being here on the planet right now? Is like literally like 1 in 7 trillion. You're just getting into a body here on planet Earth. You're already beaten so many odds. There is greatness in you, I promise. And there are many, many paths to greatness. I'm going to talk about the path of the magician today. Okay. So essentially, because we already are great, what do I mean by path to greatness? Well, most of us, we're looking out there for great. We're looking to have the right success. We're looking to make the money. We're looking to have the right relationship. We're looking, and when we do that, we're essentially looking at form, the physical form, which is not cause. What is here in form is actually coming from the formless. It is a result. It is not causal. So it's really hard to access any kind of power when we're looking outside for greatness, when we're looking outside into the form of like what we've achieved, what we haven't achieved. And that's determines what, if we're a good person, if we're a successful person. And I'd like you all just to know that that is a bunch of horse shit. Like it is so backwards, because everything that we see in form, including nature, was at one point formless. It was one point no form. And if you look at the major forces here on Earth, still, right? Gravity. They actually still don't know exactly how gravity works, and yet it impacts everything, right? That is an example of the power of formless. Okay. So the path of the magician and the path to open our greatness is really about going inside, looking to the formless aspects of ourselves. Like who do you be? Who do you be? And how does that being express itself? And how much of that is expressing itself through your daily activities and through your daily expressions, right? To me, becoming great is about allowing as much of that intrinsic formless self, the being self, to express it through the physical. And oh, by the way, the more that you allow that force, that formless force called your being, to come through you, the more alive you're going to be, the healthier your body's going to be. A lot of times, health issues are simply somebody who's not allowing very much of their life force through their bodies and through their system. They maybe have looked too much to form to try to determine their value. When you go to in the intrinsic realm, the formless realm, to acknowledge, to access the true value, the true being, the infinite being that is greater than any problem, that is greater than any challenge. Like it's an interesting thing, right? And I get caught in it. I've got this big problem. It's so big. I justify like stress, which creates toxins in my body. I justify worry, which is actually self-abuse. Worrying is self-abuse. Does it feel good? No. Does it help? No. Why do we keep doing it? We're abusing ourselves. That's a story for another day. This is my boop, boop, boop nature. So, well, I'll touch on many things. By the way, you guys, yes, my topics mostly will be centered around what I'm creating and what's coming through. But if there's a topic you'd like me to address, like I have been in transformation for almost 30 years, and I have worked in every area of transformation, transforming physical illnesses, transforming money, shifting into purpose work, opening up into your innate genius capacities and abilities, healing from trauma, like the gamut. The only thing I don't really coach on is taxes and structures. I'm not a big systems or structures person. I know the value of them, but That is not my genius, my particular genius. So anything other than structure, systems, and taxes, if you have a question about, I'm your gal. So please let me know if there's anything that you would like me to, any questions you'd like me to answer on this podcast, and potentially I will create a podcast just for you. How about that? So greatness, getting to greatness is about spending more time in the intrinsic realm, because what you focus on expands. If you're always focused on what's happening out there and you're reacting to circumstantial things, you will get in the habit of giving your power to the external, giving your power to essentially not causal realm, which is where our power is. You're putting your power in the result realm. So we've all had experiences where we gave our power to a person. We let what they said take us out. We let what they said make us stop trying. We let what they said determine whether we're valuable or lovable, or that's an example of giving our power to an external source. Another way that we might do that is to judge how we look. You know, our body is actually the result of how much of that intrinsic energy, passion, authenticity that we are bringing through, the aliveness that we bring through our bodies. If our bodies aren't where we want to be, we've got to go to the formless. Everybody goes to form. Everybody goes to, oh, I got to change my eating. I got to change my exercise. If it comes from the formless, if it comes from that intrinsic, intuitive, energetic space, and you feel to go in a different direction from the inside out with how you move or how you eat or whatever, then that can be very, very powerful. But what I see so much is people go into the answer called the diet or this particular program or whatever, and they might get their bodies where they want to be for a bit, but then they'll create another problem because they actually didn't go to the source. So I've said a lot, and I tend to kill sacred cows out there, right? We have given too much power to the externals, is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that that's not useful. Like if you want to change your body and you're eating a pizza every night, probably is not the best fuel for your body. But when you try to change it at the effect side of things, it's really tough. It's like rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. You want to change something. If you want to open to something, you want to enter the formless, the energetic realm. You want to connect with energy, space, and consciousness, which are, my friends, the prima materia of creation. So you want to be a magician. A magician is someone who uses the forces, the intrinsic natural forces of the universe, of the earth, of themselves, to direct energy into the form and change it or actualize it. How does it get better than that? How fun is that, right? So as a magician, you've got to quit giving your attention and intention to the physical results, because that's not where the power is. The power is in that gravitational pull of the energetic forces that are all around us, in our energy field, in our hearts, in spirit, in that the quantum field, right? The quantum field of where all possibilities exist. And then we connect, we expand our awareness of that realm. We actualize and activate energy. And the more energy we activate and direct into the physical realm, the more that we become and know that we are the creator of the material, that we are creating and directing and harnessing the formless energy to create form. That is the path of the magician. That is my favorite path to greatness, I have to say, because I love magic. Whoop. I love magic. And magic isn't like oogly boogly. It's literally like, if you study quantum physics, you understand the observer principle, that when we observe something, we change it. You can understand that we actually are creating as we go. We are creating our environment, not the other way around. We are creating our environment. If you want to change what something looks like, change how you look at it, right? So it can sound very esoteric, right? This conversation, but I want to break it down just a little bit, and I have an invitation for you. One of the best, easiest ways to connect with that intrinsic force that is the creation of all things is to do morning routines, right? And I think I need to change the name of that, because one of the things that I've been practicing, experimenting with, and teaching my clients is that if you're an energetic creator, and probably if you're listening to this, you create a little differently than the other folks that are like 1 + 1 = 2, right? So for you, connecting and activating as much energy as possible allows you to fuel inspired action in a way that is dynamic, that doesn't, you actually get to skip 1 + 1 = 2. You go 1 + 1 = 47. In the quantum realm, there is no linearity. So when you're tapping and you're in the field of all possibilities, if you're connected to that, then you start directing energy and anything becomes possible. Things can happen in a nanosecond in the quantum realm. And sometimes things still take time because you've created a lot of really physical barriers to having things be what you want them to be, right? So it's like, let's say that intrinsically you have the capacity for great amounts of wealth, but you have bastardized your creative capacities, and you're using that intrinsic energy to work against you with poverty consciousness, with poverty thinking, with stressful thinking, right? So you have potentially in the field created a lot of poo, right? And so when we start asking for something different, the universe has got to change some of those poo piles, right? And so sometimes things take a little bit time, and we just don't know. We never know if something's going to take more time or less time. But when you start creating from the field of all potential, of all possibilities, then everything becomes possible. And you're having so much fun because you're so lit up and so alive that you don't even have to be patient, because you don't have to wait for a result, because you are the infinite. You are what the universe is doing. You're tapped in and turned on with that aliveness and possibility. And so you know that everything that you have asked for and everything that you're directing is going to come to fruition. And it's okay. However long it takes is okay, because you're having so much fun. So one of the ways that I teach my clients to do this is I start helping them create what I will call morning routines. But it's more than that. I don't know anybody that's doing what I'm doing with regards to that. So there's a lot of high performance coaches out there that, they tout the 5 a.m. hour and stuff like that. And, if that's you, if you love that, then that's your way. That is we all create differently. We all create differently. So if you're the 5 a.m. type and you love to get up and run and do all those things, keep doing that. The thing that I would add to what you're doing is some manifestation techniques, because if you're really good and feel really good in the morning, and you're what I would call charging yourself up, then I'm going to teach you how to utilize that to create your day more dynamically, how to use that extra energy. E = mc². The more energy you have, the faster that it can materialize. So a lot of times people that are even doing that 2-hour morning routine thing are not utilizing that energy that they just turned themselves onto, right? So this is also going to be helpful if you're not a 5 a.m. person. If you're a person that has 20 minutes in the morning and getting up early is not an option because you're up till midnight with the kids, and, and like 7 a.m. is the earliest you can wake up, or 8 a.m. I'm going to teach you how you can charge yourself up in 15 to 20 minutes. Charging your body, charging your breath. Breath is one of those intrinsic forces that we can't see, but it's so potent in actualizing and activating our energies, all kind of different breath work. And then the actualization of energy, the actualization techniques, how do we direct energy to create matter? That is what we're going to be doing. I'm starting a program tomorrow called Mornings with Megs. I'm going to be live with you for 7 days in a row, doing different types of morning routines. You're going to have it in your library forever and ever, so you can mix and match. Some morning routines you might relate to, some you might not. The reason I'm doing 7 different routines is because we're all different, and you're going to find things that resonate for you, right? The other thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to create like a little 5 to 10 minute routine that you're also going to have in your library that you're going to use throughout the day. The problem, if you're a very much of an energetic creator, you can get up in the morning and you can meditate and you can do all the things, but you've processed so much energy by 10 a.m. that you're now needing a pick-me-up. And so I'm much more in favor of a shorter morning routine, moving into like 5 to 10 minutes every hour, every couple hours, where you recharge, where you reconnect to all of that intrinsic energy so that you can utilize that energy in your behalf. So this is crazy, because to me, this is the one thing that I've been doing in the last couple of years that has supercharged everything in my life. I feel better. I have more aliveness. I have more energy to work out. I have more energy to be more active. And at 58, I have more energy than I did at 48. And it's because I have incorporated this, and I have been tuning in to practice how I can give more attention to this vast field of possibilities, and how I can direct that into the physical, giving less attention and intention to the physical and more attention and intention to the energetics. And that's what I teach people. I teach people how to connect in with their natural intrinsic gifts and capacities, how to harness the forces of the universe, and how to activate that in the body to be able to create real, tangible results. I don't know anybody out there that's really teaching a morning routine that involves actualizing, moving the body, getting the breath in, like meditation techniques, qigong techniques, yoga techniques, and combining them all together in a short routine that gets you turned on and turned up and creating from the formless every single day. So, and this is good. This is like crazy. I'm doing this for $66 for 7 days, and you're going to get a library that you get to keep forever. And because it's me, there's probably going to be bonuses. I don't even know what they are yet, but I start tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the next week. So from Tuesday to next Monday, why don't you wake up with me and create with me and learn what it is to bring the formless into the form. That is where your power is. You've got to quit putting your attention on your circumstances, because then that's what you're giving power. And the truth is that you have unconsciously or consciously contributed to all of the circumstances that are showing up in your life, because you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on the result rather than that which creates results, which is that intrinsic greatness that you are, that you have. You're an infinite being. There is no circumstance greater than you. There is no problem greater than you. There is no such thing as a problem. You know what I think a problem is? And I'm probably going to misquote this. It came from a facilitator from Access Consciousness, but basically, oh, I know who it is. It was Steve Bowman. Said that basically a problem is a possibility with a point of view attached, or maybe several points of view attached. So when you learn to come from that intrinsic place where all possibilities exist, even what normal people call problems, you'll start to look at that as, ooh, What potential is this? What possibility is this? And sometimes you're going to have to clear some of your little points of view about how it's so wrong and how it's so bad and how it's so hard. And then coming into, ooh, what's possible here? What's beyond this, right? And as you start practicing living in that, I would say the field of possibility, the field of awareness, the intrinsic forces of the universe, and you learn how to direct those, then you start creating things in the material realm that people are going to wonder, how the hell did you do that? Right? You might not even know. I had a marketer about 10 years ago go tell me that I defied her. You defy me because you're supposed to do this and this and this and this and to get that result. But when you're living from the quantum, when you're living in the energetic realm, anything is possible. Things can happen as if by magic. And for me, I know that some people are more comfortable creating linearly, having a strategy, having a system, having a structure, A plus B equals C. And if you love that and it turns you on and it floats your boat, keep doing it. It's just not magic enough for me. And some people, that is their magic, right? So nothing wrong against the linear creators. This podcast is if you know that there is greatness in you and that you know it looks different than other people and that you have a different way of being and a different way of creating, and you've always known you were capable of more. So upcoming, I'm going to put the link to Mornings with Megs here. It's just $66. You can still hop on. I think I'll keep registration open till this Wednesday, which is, I think, September 6th. And then I'm at Yin on Fire. And you might want to look into coming. It's basically consciousness meets Burning Man. There's going to be fire spinners and presenters, and it's just going to be a wild party. It's September 14th through the 17th, I believe. And I'll put that link below as well. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next Monday, same time, same bat station. Thank you guys so, so much. I'll see you soon.